Good morning, I guess. It's Wednesday, and we are between two Ellens today.
I'm so excited to have Representative Trish Ranson. She is our caucus chair as well. Between two Ellens.
Between two Ellens. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Well, welcome. We actually did a live podcast on Monday with you, and we had hoped to put that podcast out, but while we had great questions and great conversations, it was a little noisy and committees had run long, and so we just decided it'd be better to do a redo.
Right, because we were at Lively Beer Works, and it was pretty loud.
It was pretty loud. Very lively that day. So, but Trish, Rep Ranson, tell us a little bit about how you got started as a representative.
Oh, sure. So I was an elementary music teacher at Westwood Elementary. Until 2018 when the teacher walkout came. And so then I walked out of my classroom and came down to the Capitol to advocate and realized that there was a divide between what was happening within the walls here and what is actually happening in the real world. And so decided to run for office, and that was 2018, ran for office again in 2020, 2022, and 2024. So here I am.
And you're running again this year?
Oh, yes, of course. Every 2 years, it seems like.
You got an opponent?
I do. And so it should be interesting to see how things go. I mean, I've beat him twice already, so it should be interesting.
So one of the things, I think when you come to the Capitol, you're like, I'm going to focus on education, which I know is a top priority. Right. But you're over, your years here. What other focuses have you focused on?
Gosh, you're right. Education was obviously my first love and still is my first love. But when we come to the Capitol, we can't just focus in one subject area. We have to know a little bit about a lot of things. And so I've gotten into more like health policy, mental health, a lot of childcare and early childhood before our education system kicks in. Higher ed, you name it. It seems like that's something that I need to learn about and I'm interested in.
So what about one of the bills that you still have going? I know you have an early child care, or childhood task force. Can you talk to us a little bit about that bill?
House Bill 1979 creates a task force for early childhood, and this came out of discussion with some advocates in my area as well as statewide in looking at how do we invest and how do we provide services for early childhood. And what was discovered was the fact that we have 19 different programs in early childhood across 6 different agencies. So you've got people doing double the work, and then you've got parents who don't know where to go and don't understand how to navigate. And so this was where the bill kind of came from. The task force looks at, okay, how do we take all of those programs in the 6 different agencies and carve them out so it's just 0 through 5, and how do we put it all under one roof so that way we can not duplicate our efforts, that way we can give targeted investment to the early childhood age range, because we know that every dollar that we invest in early childhood, we can make $16 to $17 over the lifespan of the child. We can change trajectories. We can change educational and health outcomes. And 26 other states have done this, where they have consolidated their early childhood programs, and they've been successful. And so I think we can do it as well. But I think we need to make sure that whatever we do, it's Oklahoma focused.
Early intervention is something that got me to the Capitol 21 years ago. But I'm happy that the conversation is kind of shifted a bit in talking about a little bit more that people are listening to how birth to 3 is so important. And I think if we talk about childcare in a different way, it's a different understanding. I remember when we started that SoonerStart program, that's early intervention, it's excellent. But, as a mom, we have kids and we go, oh, I know how to do this. And I feel that we kind of guilt ourselves if we don't know how to do it. And it's something that right from the start with SoonerStart, it made me a better parent and more engaged parent.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with knowing the law and figuring out policy. A lot of the families who really were, checked into the program because it's hard to work, but we talk about parent involvement. That's where we start.
Yes.
That's where we start. And this sort of idea that we all know what we're doing is something that we have to tell moms, you need to have questions. You need to have people help you.
Absolutely.
And SoonerStart's a great program, which would be in this.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Great.
And one of the things we had talked about, I had a bill this session that didn't make it as far as I wanted to, but it was looking at developmental screenings and trying to figure out where do those two take place, how do we, how much, who pays for it, and then how are we referred to programs like SoonerStart and other great programs in our state. And I had to work with 3 different agencies. And I still don't think I have a good grasp on it, but I love the idea of it being in one place because we shouldn't have to work with State Department of Ed, Department of Health, and Oklahoma Healthcare Authority to figure out the best way to help families in those critical years.
But some of that's because we need some of those funds, federal funds. So that's why all those agencies and it makes sense to a point. I think it could be in one house and have a person from there that's
exactly
absolutely
and that's what I've asked for continually to pull disability out of healthcare authority. Just have someone that is that knowledge base that families can go to, because that's a problem too with the communication. But I
kind of like a navigator, somebody who
a navigator.
Yes,
that's a really good term.
Exactly, because the funding streams are similar to all of the different agencies, and if we have. And they all have their view of what the requirements are. But if it was all under one roof and you had a consolidated focus on how do we deal with the funding streams, I think we would have much more money available to us.
Yes,
absolutely.
Well, that's it. So
so it's exciting. So Chuck Hall is my Senate author.
Nice.
And so it is. I just texted him earlier this week. I'm like, hey, how we doing? And he's like, it will be heard next week because obviously, as being appropriations chair in the Senate, he's been busy this last couple of weeks.
Also, it's not unheard of for bills that we, as Democrats, sometimes those are waiting till the last week, and that's okay too.
Yes.
But it sort of makes us kind of checking in with the senators on how the bill's going. You don't want to overstep,
right?
But come on, we've worked on it. You kind of want to know, and so there are senators that communicate very well, and there's others that you're crossing your fingers, going, "Am I the one to make the mistake?"
Right, exactly. It's like how long has it been since I've pinged them? I mean, I did an email before. Should I text now?
Yeah. How can I walk the hallways to ask? Oh, I didn't know you'd be here.
Hanging out outside the men's room.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm happy that this comes up because it's not just like a lot of people think if you file the bill it will be heard, and that it will. And that's not how it works at all. And even if it's heard and everyone likes it in committees, sometimes it doesn't move on from there. And that's sort of the things that I always say. I like being limber when there's no control, but darn it, sometimes you want control.
Yeah, I hear you. That actually came up on Monday night, one of the questions about a bill that was put forward that would require all bills to be heard. And it's interesting because I was thinking, we would have to change the number of bills that we are able to put forward. Because if we all have 8 bills as a max times 101, goodness gracious, we'd be here until next year.
Yeah, so they were hoping it to be a state question, I think, is what.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay.
And so we should have. I don't know what the update on that is.
I haven't heard.
But I agreed with Ranson. Like 2 backs seems, that'd be like 200 plus. Leadership would still want all 50 of their bills heard. So.
Well, I want to ask you questions about being the caucus chair.
Sure.
I don't think a lot of people also know that there are a few elected positions that we have in our caucus. One is the leader, so our minority leader. One is the caucus chair, and one is the vice chair. What made you decide to run for caucus chair? And do you regret it? No. Don't take that off.
No, actually, so why did I run for it? It was one of those things where I wanted to be involved in leadership. I wanted to have a say in priorities and that type of thing. But also the role of the chair is to, one, facilitate and plan our caucus meetings. So honestly, as an educator, that's a lesson plan. And
you have the skills.
Exactly. So it's kind of the teacher of the caucus. So making sure that that our members are fed, that the issues that we want to talk about are brought up, to make sure that we are looking at, okay, what are the bills ahead for this week or that day? What are our priorities? Also bringing in people to talk to the caucus, maybe as an education moment of like, okay, we want to make sure that this message is delivered to the whole caucus at once. Those kinds of things. And so that's what interested me. And it's been a good ride. I mean, I've done this, I think this is my 4th year now. And so, I also plan the retreats when we get together once a year, and our end of the year parties and stuff. So it's kind of like a party planning position as well. But, as being a elementary music teacher and running the Friday assemblies every week, I mean, I'm used to being the cruise director of the school. So
a little bit of chaos too.
Yes, absolutely. and chaos is good.
Yeah.
Because then it makes things more lively. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed the position.
Great. I think that's it's to have that job. You have to be early, on time. You're always the first one on the floor. So when you're not caucus chair next year, because we had elections and you decided not to run,
correct?
And so maybe you'll be late.
I don't know. That's funny because that's just my nature. I like to I arrive at the same time every day and leave about the same time every day, just because, our assistants are here by 8:30 in the morning, and I feel like it's really just important to be there with them and just be like, okay, touch base, what do we need to do for today, how are we? And so I tend to be here by 8:30, usually earlier, but it just helps kind of get my thought process together before the madness of whatever the day holds takes over. So yeah, I think that'll probably still be consistent, chair or not.
I like consistency.
Yes.
So one of the cool things that you have enacted, which really worked when we were in our lively Beer Works setting, but you have started Pints, People, Politics. Do I have the wrong order?
Wrong order.
Yeah.
But you've got the alliteration.
Yes, I did get the alliteration.
People, Politics, and Pints.
Perfect.
I started this about 4 years ago now. It was just an idea. It was an idea of how do I educate voters on the issues. And it came about from knocking doors. And so, every time I would knock a door, it seemed like the answer, we'd ask them questions and they're like, well, I don't know much about politics. And so I'm like, okay, well, tell me what that means. And so we got into it and realized that there was a lack of knowledge on basic civics. So I'm like, how do we educate adults, voters, on civics, but not make them feel stupid? So then this is where the idea came of People, Politics, and Pints, where it's civics education for grown-ups, but with beer. And so I have a civics teacher, and he comes and he delivers a lesson, and it's about 20 minutes. And I'm just like, nothing more than 9th grade level, because, it's been a long time since we've been in civics class. And it changes every time we have it. And it's great because, one, it offers we get to learn something. And maybe we learn something new. Maybe we just solidify something we already knew. And that's okay. So nobody feels stupid. But then we also facilitate tabletop discussions. So whatever the topic is, the civics teacher will be like, okay, here's a question. Discuss at your table. And so then they practice what it's like to talk about what you think and feel about a political subject in a way that's a safe environment. And I've had folks who have sat at tables where they knew the people and not sat at tables where they didn't know the people, where they were different political ideologies. And it was great because they were able to kind of struggle and talk about, okay, well, I don't know that I completely agree with that, but what about this? And so it helps give people a chance and practice at talking about politics. Because, we're taught not to talk about politics. Mm-hmm. And so if we have a community that doesn't know how to talk about politics, well, we're never going to talk about politics if we don't practice. And so this offers a practice time. And then we do question and answer for whatever at the end. And usually we get a smattering of questions on the topic, but also on, politics at the state Capitol. And so that's good too. So my civics teacher answers the content questions. I answer the politics questions. And we always end with a toast.
I like it that, talking about politics, but also it helps teach people how to listen.
Correct.
And so, and also it probably gives them an idea of what mostly happens. Mm-hmm. It's not all arguing and us back to back and not working together. It's, I'm not going to agree with that, or can you amend that, or you're not going to change anyone's mind. But I think the listening is always a really strong thing for all of us to learn.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think too, the idea that, I didn't take all of my educator training and just leave it at the steps of the Capitol. I mean, I am still an educator, and I find that every door I knock, every conversation I have, it is an education, whether it's mine or theirs or both. And so I feel like the more we can share and the more we can talk, the better and stronger our community becomes. And this is something that we've been doing for, like I said, 4 years now. And even, this year, the League of Women Voters of Stillwater kind of got into it. They wanted to have civics conversations too. And so I collaborate with them where they have civics conversations on the odd months, and I have them on the even months. And so now there's something that people can attend every month, a civics related.
I love that.
Sounds like something the Between Two Ellens needs to do.
I know, we do. We need
monthly live show with this, an interim to at least keep people involved instead of just paying attention to. It might be a circus.
We should do like a state question one.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
We'll have some experts on too.
Yeah,
well, absolutely. And that's another thing too of bringing in people.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Because you can bring in the state question person. You can bring in someone that has subject matter knowledge. Like one of my sessions did not even have a civics teacher. It had the secretary of the Payne County Election Board. Because we were talking about the elections for 2026 and when are the dates. And it was great because she had a fridge magnet. And everyone left with a fridge magnet. I mean, it's like, yes. This is why, so I think there's things that we can do. And I love your idea of book study. I mean, that's just great.
It's so fun. It's very intimate.
Right.
It's very intimate to like have people, strangers come together to discuss a book they've all read together. But
yes,
it's very thoughtful. It's thoughtful conversation. And it's a discussion led not by me, but by the book and by those subject matter experts that we bring in to kind of talk about the topic.
Right.
So,
well, and I think that's important because I don't think that we should be the focus. I mean, yes, it's People, Politics, and Pints with Representative Trish Ranson. Yes. Mm-hmm. However, it is not Civics by Trish Ranson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is by an instructor. So that's way, I can help facilitate, but it's not all on me. And really, honestly, we should be working in community with the folks around us better than just relying on somebody who's elected. We are the people, and we are the government. So
good idea. We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
We'll continue to do our live shows with working mics and all that. We'll try to get lively to be a little bit less lively. Well, I know people are probably thinking that Trish and I dress alike, but today... Yes. What can you tell us what today is at the Capitol?
Today is Capitol Cowboys.
Oh.
And this is OSU Day. And so we will have a pep band that, that's my favorite part of it, quite honestly. Mm-hmm. I love the marching band. And we'll have a pep band here. We'll have Pistol Pete. I believe we're going to have the new football coach, Coach Morris.
Oh.
Yes. And I don't know if we have wrestlers or not, but there was some talk about possibly some of our new freshman wrestlers coming. But I love OSU Day because, one, orange is such a happy color. That's number one. And number two, OSU always comes and yes, athletics is a focus for the university, but our primary focus is educating. And and how do we extend that to all 77 counties? Because we are a land grant college, and I love when OSU Day is here, and so Capital Cowboys.
I'm excited. There's a special guest that's walking around. He keeps texting me.
Oh yes,
he's a freshman.
You have a cowboy too.
You have a cowboy here.
I'll up here today. We're gonna get a little tiny weepy because to have him be included.
Yes,
that it's natural that he would be included instead of the special day for disability. Right. My son goes to OSU, but there's a program called Opportunity Orange Scholars, and it's for students who have IDD, and worked really hard to get them included with Oklahoma's Promise for tuition. Yes. And so he is here. He tells me he's living his best life. He's happy, and
so he's going to enjoy visiting all the legislators too, because
he's done it before.
Yes,
because he's been an advocate for disability. We've been up here with the waiting list or SoonerStart. So William's been up here, but now he's up here promoting his college.
Yes,
and it just gives me, this is the direction we need to move, and I think OSU has been a perfect home for him. Indeed. And so excited that he's here.
Oh. Yes, it's going to be a great time.
So excited.
So, just, kind of a little update of session this year. I think what is maybe unique this year is the budget limits bills all going at once. Right. And can y'all have been here longer than I have, so can you talk a little bit about the difference this session?
The limits bill being after the GA bill.
And what's limits bills? Just
limits bills. You're our expert.
So the GA bill, or the General Appropriations Bill, is all the big numbers. And, I liken it to, it's the big enchilada. Okay, so it's all of it is there, and that's the budget. But the limits bills are the ingredients that go into that enchilada. And so it's where the bills that tell the agencies exactly how much goes to what line item and so forth. And what's hard is that the GA bill and the limits bills usually happen at the same time, so that way we can compare and make sure that the big numbers in the big enchilada the ingredients are the same and all of that. And so that did not happen this year. So we had the handshake deal, the GA bill, and then the next week, this week, is the limits bills. And so that's really concerning. Plus, we have to, the way the process works is those limits bills have to go through the Joint Committee of Appropriations and Budget, the JCAB committee. Well, the JCAB committee is also meeting at the same time that all of our appropriation and budget committees and our oversight committees are happening. So you've got the regular run of business for our session, and then you've got on top of that the whole budget process at the same time. And it's been very difficult because the last couple of weeks, I don't know about you two, but I felt like I've had to be in 2 to 3 different places at one time. Yes. Multiple times during this last couple of weeks.
Sort of like the pace of it, you kind of get used to it, even though it's a lot. And we're all in different committees, so you may be listening to marijuana bills or health-related bills or education bills. And then we have to look at the budget bills. It's really hard for us to catch up or to, it just seems like everything's sort of thrown at you. I don't really care for the pace.
I don't either. And I think it's very overwhelming because, if we were in the majority, we could miss committees. We could, because there's enough majority members in the committee to pass bills. But being minority, we can't miss committees because we are the ones that are asking questions. We are the ones that are challenging bad policy. And if we miss, then those questions don't get asked. And that's really important. So, it's been a lot this session.
It is really hard to keep my head on straight of what we're talking about. And a lot of times, the limits bills will reflect a bill that we've passed. So we've already passed the general, so we're passing the limits afterwards, and it impacts this bill. And sometimes we haven't even voted on the bill yet. So I've been a lot of piecemealing and trying to put it all together. It's been a lot this session.
On top of all the other work we have to do. There's a lobbyist that said, well, you're going to get out early. That's what there's rumor that we're going to sine die early. And I said, she goes, and it always feels this way. And I go, no, it doesn't.
Right.
You know, we take chunks at a time. And those chunks have to do with the chunk that's coming up next. And that's not what's happening.
Right.
So even as we were talking about Senate bills over there, and then trying to follow what's going on over there, it's difficult.
Right.
So
let's just put it here. If it's difficult for us,
totally,
it is impossible for the public. And that's what's so frustrating is because the people, I mean, I'm getting texts from advocates going, what's going on? Because they're even having a hard time catching up with what's going on. And I think that's what's so frustrating is that things are getting rushed and ramrodded through the system where it's like, oh, we're going to be done. And Oklahoma's going to look around and go, what just happened?
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point to end on.
Well,
or did you?
Or a good one.
Yeah, or a good one.
So a good point to end on is, you know, your bill's still alive.
The bill's still alive, yes.
There's a couple of mine that are still alive, and so exciting to see in yours. Yours is so we, you know, hopeful as well. So we don't want to say that it's a disaster.
No, and it's just.
Those are the bright lights.
It's messy.
It's messy.
And when you talk about chaos, yes, it feels a little bit like it's too much chaos, so it's hard to handle.
Yeah.
I used to say that you know, tragic is my sweet spot, but it's not anymore. I want smooth, calm water to be my sweet spot, and I'll eventually get there. Well, it looks like that we're at the end of our episode, and thank you for being here.
Yes,
so before you go, all of our guests, we have asked you to ask us a question. So ask the Ellens a question.
Okay, so this is my favorite question to ask on interviews because usually if I'm working with someone, like someone wants to have a job or whatever, that kind of thing, or even, you know, I've even asked this when, you know, they're like, do you have any questions for us? And because I think it's an important thing, because as grown-ups, we don't get this question anymore. So here's your question. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Oh, man. You know, also, when you say dinosaur, it always takes me back to The Land Before Time, which was like, you know, I ended up showing it to my kids because it was like a top movie for me, and it's very boring in this generation movies, you know, very slow pace. But Stegosaurus is definitely my go-to.
Yes, that's the one with the spikes,
with
right?
the spikes, yes.
Triceratops.
Oh,
it's got the
yes,
it's got the hood. Right? You know, it's got. I think that one's kind of cute. You said Land Before Time. I'm thinking as old Land of the Lost.
Oh,
that is like I was just like going, okay, but that
right.
Land of the Lost had dinosaurs in it, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So have you ever seen
Gosh,
it?
no, I haven't seen it.
Flashback. Oh my gosh. You're going to have to Google it.
Yeah, I'll have to Google it.
That's right.
They probably have it on YouTube.
I thought you were going there and then you're like, oh no, she's a different
Well,
yeah,
that's another thing, because, you know, when I ask questions, I figure out which generation you are.
Yeah.
Based on the answer, too.
Yeah.
So,
what's yours?
Brontosaurus, but then I have learned that Brontosaurus is no longer, it is a Brachiosaurus, but it's the long neck Vegosaurus. So,
little veggie.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, especially on Capital Council.
I know it's a busy day. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for taking time with us. And until next time, we'll see you again between two Ellens.
Bye.
Bye.